Good evening, folks. This is Deb and Dave, and this is the Factivist Report. And we're trying to tell you just exactly what the fuck is going on in America right now, because honestly, it's a shit show. And, I'm going to say this. As I explained to people before, we have killed the website simply because I would spend all of my time updating a website for the next 4 years because there's so much shit going on in this country that is so bad that I can't keep up. It's just not worth it. Okay. I'll pick it up again when and if we get out of this. Okay. And we talk about how we're going to get back to what we really should be instead of what we actually really are. And none of it is good. Okay.
And please understand that we are, as a collective, a fascist nation right now. I will go into the definition of fascism and all of that. But before I talk about this, this is basically examples of why we are a fascist nation at the moment. It's not just Trump, by the way. It's MAGA. It's people who rationalize. It's people who normalize this. It's people who say, well, this is the way it is right now. Stop. Okay. It needs to change now because this right now we are in a fascist system. Point blank. It's not what we're moving towards, it's what we are.
We're here.
We're
Okay.
here.
All right. We were moving towards this in November of last year. Okay. And we tried to warn people that if Donald Trump were put into office, um, we would be here. And we're here. We're here. Okay. Let's stop dicking around here and let's just be honest about all of this.
Now this show is basically what MAGA is doing, what Trump is doing for the most part. All right. And also making the argument that it's fascism and spelling out what fascism is, spelling out the elements of it, all of that. Also, this is a great opinion piece. Deb and I have mixed feelings about the New York Times, but this is a great opinion piece by Carlos Lozada on the day we lost this country, at least temporarily. Stop pretending Trump is not who we are. This is how we got where we are. We rationalized all of this. Well, he can't get any farther. Oh, well, he's a joke candidate. I'm going to read a little bit of this and make it quick. I remember when Donald Trump was not normal. I remember when Trump was a fever that would break. I remember when Trump was running was a joke. I remember when Trump was best covered in the entertainment section. I remember when Trump would never become the Republican nominee. Remember when the presumptive nominee was Jeb Bush? That was bad enough.
Yep.
I remember when Trump could not possibly win the general election. And then the second one, Trump could possibly not get reelected. I remember when Trump's attacks on John McCain were disqualifying. I remember when Trump's Access Hollywood tape would force him out. I remember when Trump was James Comey's fault, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I remember when Trump was the news media's fault. I remember when Trump won because Hillary Clinton was unlikable. I remember when 2016 was a fluke, et cetera, et cetera. You can read it, it moves on and on and on. This was from 2024. It's gotten worse. We know he's a felon. We now know he has over 3,000 mentions
You know,
in the Epstein files.
this this brings me back to a post I saw recently where I believe it was the Latina Women for Trump?
Yeah, probably.
The woman saying, the head of it, the head of that
Yeah.
organization saying, this is not what we voted for. Well, you know what? I'm sorry. but it fucking
Right.
is.
Yes, it is.
You know, the bottom line is everybody knew who this guy was by November of 2025. Okay? Everybody knew. Everybody knew what the 2024 election was, right? Sorry,
Yep.
2025 was wrong. 2024. Everybody knew. Okay? Everybody knew who and what he stood for. Okay? And I don't know how people didn't think that after the inauguration, this wouldn't get worse. I don't understand. You
And
did know. This is exactly what you voted
right.
for because he spelled his policies out before the election. The whole time he was campaigning, you heard the shit coming out of his mouth.
And he doesn't care if you're a MAGA. If he doesn't agree with something you're saying or doing, he will attack you too. Remember the phrase, I can't believe the leopard ate my face. There's a little article about, the origin of that. Okay? He is he is the ultimate bad ex. If bad boyfriend or bad girlfriend, abusive husband or abusive wife. Only, he's married to the country. Okay? This What we are spelling out here is not one thing.
Nothing stopped him, okay? Not 34 felony convictions, not being an adjudicated rapist, none of that. None of that stopped us. None of the commentary that he made about women overturning Roe and then parading around bragging about it. None of it. So don't tell me this isn't who we are as a nation. 90 million people, the landslide was 90 million people staying home. That's the landslide. That was the only landslide in the 2024 election. People stayed home. Why? Oh, because it was too much of a shit show. That's what I read everywhere. Well, guess what? What the fuck do you think we are in now?
Okay. So this is just a condensed fascism for dummies explanation, I guess, and I'm going to read this too. Uh, Fascism is a far-right authoritarian political ideology characterized by extreme nationalism. Let's see, Make America Great Again.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm just saying, dictatorial power. He is the ultimate, whatever he says goes. And I have a list or like comprehensive studies on his retribution tour and who he's gone after, and the suppression of opposition. Authoritarian leadership. Fascism promotes a strong centralized government led by a dictatorial leader. We're here.
Yeah.
The leader often embodies the state and is seen as the symbol of national unity and strength. If you see him, like as Jesus or on those stupid cards like Superman or whatever, we're there. Extreme nationalism. Fascism uh, emphasizes the supremacy of the nation or race over individual rights. I have, again, I believe it's from the Human Rights Campaign, a comprehensive list of human rights violations, not just involving immigrants, by the way. Uh, but that's part of it. The nationalism often manifests in militarism for immigration, customs, and enforcement. In this case, is one huge one. Also blowing up ships, from Hexeth. So, and the belief that the nation must be prepared for conflict to achieve its goals. Constant fighting our enemies. They're the enemies. The left is the enemy. This is the enemy. Hamilton is the enemy. Whoever it is. Suppression of opposition. Pretty much all he says. Fascist regimes seek to control all aspects of life, including the economy. Now, the crypto nonsense, going after grants for Harvard, were just a couple of examples.
The
Culture,
tariffs.
the tariffs, culture, the Kennedy Center, and education, stripping DEI, the state, and which, by the way, honestly, it's not even DEI, it's multiculturalism in schools. That not everybody is the same. That some families have two mommies, that kind of stuff, just to accept it. Uh, so the state is viewed as the highest authority, and individual interests are subordinated and the needs of the state. Why do you think we've been doing no kings since last May? Militarism and violence. Fascism glorifies violence as a means of achieving national rejuvenation. Just take a look at Kristi Noem, take a look at Pete Hegseth. It often promotes a militaristic society where war is seen as a necessary tool for national strength and unity. Now, again, the Department of War. Pete Hegseth changed it to the Department of War. So, and I do want to mention mechanisms of control. Propaganda is rampant at this point. Scapegoating. Just for example, Alex Preddy. Okay, well, he was a domestic terrorist. Well, he kicked out a taillight.
So what?
The cult of personality. I mean, Donald Trump is God to some people. So that's just, there are so many examples, and we'll try to get through some of them. I know Deb will, maybe throw some out there. I do have some stuff myself. That's a Wikipedia explanation of fascism. Basically, if whatever Donald Trump, whatever MAGA is doing, think, would Obama be able to do the same thing without just a complete riot? If January 6th happened under Obama or Biden's watch, what do you think would have happened? If BLM would have done that and stormed the Capitol like that? Hell, people went into a church with whistles, and Don Lemon just got arrested for covering it. And two other journalists, by the way. I don't necessarily agree with this, but it's blatant at this point. Americans know fascism when they see it.
Really?
Not
I
fast,
don't think
not
some
fast
people
enough.
do.
Not fast enough.
I'm still not sure people do. You can't say that. Yeah, we can say that. You can say he's Hitler. Yeah, we can say that. We can. He is.
Now I got this. This is a small little 4-minute bit, but I have a better description of this. Trump has targeted more than 100 opponents and institutions. I believe it's like 300. The other articles of NPR analysis finds. So again, Trump said it was going to be his retribution tour. He said it. Here we go. So, oh, there we go. Even worse. Trump's campaign of retribution. This is a special report by Reuters. 470 targets and counting. Anyone who has ever investigated him is his enemy and an enemy of the state because he knows all. Letitia James is in there. A bunch of other people are in there. Comey, I see him. There's Ludwig in there, I think.
Brennan.
So, Brennan. So, 247 members of the first group, 247 individuals and entities were signaled out by name, either publicly by Trump and his appointees or later in government memes, legal filings, or other records. Acts had to be aimed at specific individuals or entities with evidence of intent to punish. Now, you have Anthony Fauci, you have just going after Letitia James, anyone who has spoken out against them, anybody. And by the way, from his own party too, Adam Kinzinger, and those guys. So that's the first group. 224 caught up in broader retribution efforts, not named individually, but ensnared in crackdowns of groups or perceived opponents, like the Southern Poverty Law or the Southern Poverty Law Center, something like that. Um, Nearly 100 of them were prosecutors and FBI agents fired or forced to retire for working on cases tied to Trump or his allies because they were deemed as the woke enemy. Okay. 462. Reuters found 462 cases, including the dismissal of at least 128 federal workers and officials who had probed, challenged, or otherwise bucked Trump or his administration. This needs to stop. If you do something wrong, okay. But this came from, I believe, 2016 when somebody, voted for him and then was affected adversely. And now you're hearing people who have voted for Trump or made pro-Trump songs or whatever, and then they either get deported or their husbands or wives get deported or somehow or they get fired from their federal job. He told you what he was going to do. He told you what he was going to do. A lot of this has to do with attacks on due process, and they don't think that it's going to happen to them. Just saying. Kind of gross, graphic, but whatever. So the next bit is propaganda, which is which is a tool. Okay. Anytime something happened, Nicole Good, you see it on camera. You see it. And oh, she was running him over or running the cop over, blah 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 blah. When people look at a tape, listen to witness accounts, and they still are duped by misinformation, it's propaganda. Okay. One of the ones, I don't know if here we go. One of the ones, there was an example. Let me see. Okay. This is a great example of the propaganda. I always want to be modest. Trump claims that he's a modest person while bragging about his election victory.
He's disgusting.
I, I
He
mean,
just,
really?
I mean, I don't know how people can actually, I just can't even, I don't even know how this guy's propaganda can possibly work on anybody. He's so fucking blatant about everything he's doing. It's amazing.
I
It's
mean, there's
amazing.
more examples. There's more examples down the line, I'm sure, but there's just a description. There's an article from Media Matters, and it's just finger pointing, scapegoating. We've talked about Christina Pushaw for forever. I call it the Pushaw plan. Anything that the Republicans do is great, and anything the Democrats do is a threat to democracy. So one of the big issues that we've talked about over and over again is the jackboot thugs or the brown shirts um, taking people off the street with no judicial warrant. There's something called an administrative warrant, and we're probably going to do these shows again. That is just a general, basically, it's profiling, is the administrative warrant. Let's just call it for what it is. I don't have a problem with immigration. Well, first off, Deb and I agree that in its current form, ICE has to be abolished and restructured.
Yeah.
Yes, we need immigration enforcement. We need people to enforce the law. But do it the right way, use judicial warrants and that kind of thing, instead of just taking people off the street and saying, "Hey,
This
you
isn't
look
immigrant.
foreign."
What's going on here is not immigration enforcement. Okay.
It's not. It's
This
not.
is this is the Gestapo, okay?
Yeah.
And it is, you know, I'm sorry, but you've got 5-year-old kids being detained. You've got kids being taken away from their parents. You have people's homes being invaded. You have people being pulled out of court while they're trying to become American citizens. This isn't what I would call border patrol, okay?
No.
These people are in our cities with weapons now, okay? And they're using them against American citizens. This can't be called anything but the Gestapo. That's exactly
I
what's
call
going
I
on.
call it the brown shirts, but
Whatever.
yeah, but it's the same thing. Here's the thing. If you allow this to continue, it's going to get worse. And if you dismantle, let's say you dismantle ICE and you get another uh,
Republican,
fascist or
you
Republican,
think you're
it's
going to
going to go right
dismantle?
back to what it is.
You think you're going to dismantle ICE and leave the Republicans in power? You've really lost your minds, is all I'm going to say. All right. If you think that leaving the Republicans in power at the midterms is going to be okay because we'll get them again in 2028, we're going to continue to employ that thought process, that logic. I'm going to tell you something right now. If the Republicans retain power at the midterm level, there is no 2028 election. Understand that, okay?
I am at the point where anyone goes on my timeline and spouts the propaganda nonsense about Renee Good or about Alex Preddy, I will block them immediately.
I do too.
Okay, we're not doing this anymore. Uh, an FBI agent resigned over the investigation because he knew it was being done incorrectly, basically. Um, then you have to have independent autopsies, by independent agencies because you can't trust this DOJ. You can't trust the federal government.
And right, and now there's a story out there about the DOJ investigating the Alex Preddy killing. Let me just tell you something. This DOJ, Donald Trump's DOJ.
Right.
They're doing this because there's so much outcry over this at this point that they're trying to make themselves look good. Okay? This will be a whitewash. All
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. New
Anyone who
evidence.
thinks
Yeah,
that Ann Bondi's DOJ is going to investigate this
right.
is smoking something that I want. Okay?
And, and if you really think that the DOJ would have uncovered that Renee Good was still alive when ICE blocked the medics from getting to her, and she could have survived if the medic would have gotten to her on time, again, you're smoking crack. Just saying. Okay, again. Oh, by the way, more dangerous than a gun, cell phone documentation.
That's what it is.
Okay, what do you think?
They already
That
had his gun when they shot him.
right.
And by the way, he was carrying legally and his gun was holstered. Okay? He wasn't waving it at anybody. He wasn't aiming it at anybody. He wasn't threatening anybody's life. He was helping a protester.
And understand that the agents that shot Alex Preddy are working. They weren't taking. I understand. I understand. That they they were talking about administrative leave at the beginning, but no, they're not. I don't know if they're on the field. They've been reassigned outside of Minneapolis.
Yeah, they're going to go bring their magic to some other part of the country.
So this caused a little bit of uproar.
You
Trump
can't
on
walk in
Alex.
with guns.
There you go.
Yeah. Well,
I
you know,
mean,
how come Carl Rittenhouse was a hero? You can't walk in with guns. He went to another city where he wasn't even invited, got a gun illegally, shot at people, killed people, and became a fucking national hero. So yeah, you actually can walk in with guns as long as you're on the right side.
MAGA side, right. Now, the automatic response when somebody says that, and I just happen to want to respond before I block them, is number one, Kyle Rittenhouse, and number two, the insurrection, the January 6th, riot.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
the
can't,
insurrection,
you're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
the attempted overthrow of the US government. Remember that? That wasn't a bridge too far for the American people. They forgot all about that.
Now, the next rationalization, remember the original opinion piece that I showed you, is, oh, well, Trump can't possibly get away with this because, the NRA is going to come after him and this guy's going to. No. I mean,
Nobody's
uh,
going after Trump.
so now Trump is targeting off-duty officers in Minnesota. Okay. So then you had a police chief go off. Just saying. That is the most demonic presidential picture I've ever seen in my life. Trump demands Democrats cooperate with ICE in a dark screed to deport illegal criminals.
Oh, yeah. Well, I get
They
some
are the ultimate, they are the jackboot thugs. They are the brown shirts. They are the Gestapo.
I got some people they can start with if he wants to deport illegal criminals. We can start with Kash Patel. We can start with him. We can start with little Marco. Little Marco
Well,
who wants, says that the Trump administration would be happy with a regime change in Cuba. Is that their next target?
they were
We'd be
talking
happy
about it
with a regime
actually.
change. We'd be happy with a
Right.
regime change here, actually.
Well, not for nothing. Illegal criminal. Why don't they deport Trump? They didn't say anything about, immigrants.
Right.
Okay. Again, fascism, the
They will
threat
have
of
to suffer.
intimidation.
No, we don't have
Okay.
to suffer.
No, we don't. Well, we're doing it now. Oh, Deb, this is something that I wanted to mention because it's coming up. This is a specific thing. So, Haitians have their protective status, temporary protective status for Haitian immigrants expires on February 3rd. Trump is talking about going into Ohio and starting to cause havoc in Ohio now.
Oh, good. Yeah, let's have some more. Bring it
Yeah.
on. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on. We're all going to stand around here and let this happen.
So remember that phrase that he just mentioned, illegal criminals? What are the main revelations from the new Epstein files release? Okay, people are in an uproar about the co-owner of the New York Giants. I happen to be a fan, and they're calling for him to be fired. Uh, and he's mentioned like 400 times, I think. Trump was mentioned over 3,000 times so far. I think there's another million
No, I think
documented.
there's more. No, I think
Yeah,
it's
there's
more
more.
like 13,000 times. I think Ro Khanna came out with a number.
Okay. Well, this is from February 1st, and this is from The Independent. Donald Trump is mentioned more than 3,000 times. So maybe it is more than 3,000 times, but
Yeah.
yeah.
While you're talking, let me see if I can find that because I had it on my phone.
Okay.
Keep going.
But Deb, don't worry about it because Trump says that the latest release of the Epstein files absolves him.
Yeah, absolves him.
Oh, we're good. Don't worry, don't worry, everybody that watches these. Um, I don't want to do a hot take on the new Epstein files. I want to take a look at them. I want to take a look at all of it. I know, there are like little breadcrumbs here and there. Oh, bombshell, bombshell. I don't do bombshells. I want to know, what we're talking about. But what I will say in terms of the Epstein files is that you can't release these with basically two words in a document and everything else is redacted and then say you're absolved. It's not going to fly. Not no. And meanwhile, just wanted to mention this: journalist Don Lemon and two others were charged with federal civil rights crimes after uh, covering anti-ICE church protest. And by the way Deb and I met was a Julian Assange protest, and journalism is not a crime.
Yeah, by the way, that's exactly what Ro Khanna said. There are 13,000 mentions of Donald Trump in the Epstein files.
Okay, so uh, put that one in there too.
Yep.
I mean, The Independent is relatively conservative, but hey,
Well, that might have been the number that was available at that moment.
yeah. Here's one. LAPD police chief says he won't enforce the California mask ban on federal agents. Now, remember when there was a an official in Florida that said something about, I can't remember, was it abortion or something, and DeSantis removed him
Hmm.
even though he was elected? This stuff, if you are in Los Angeles, you need to protest this. Okay? There was a California mask ban that Newsom put in. They need to they need to enforce it. I'm sorry. Here's another one. This is just general stuff that's going on. Let that sink in. It's amazing. He's just going to cut himself blank checks and pay
Yeah,
himself.
yeah. Why not? Because that's what fascism is all about too.
Right.
You know?
So when asked when asked by a reporter on Saturday evening what it was like to be on both sides of a lawsuit, Trump, 79, responded that no one would care if he awarded himself taxpayer funds to his own hand selection charities.
Over
Yeah,
my
that's
fucking dead body. Really. I would mind very much.
and if this starts, guess where we're going? I would not have a problem with people just not paying their taxes.
That's right. Stop.
Okay. Now, have I been a tax-paying citizen? Yes. But we shouldn't pay, this is a what, embezzlement scheme, basically.
Everything he does is an embezzlement
Filthy.
scheme. Everything he does is wrapped around the almighty dollar.
So this is another opinion piece from the Hill, opposing Trump's quest for power is defending democracy. That's the
Yep.
bottom line. Okay, I know we've glossed through this. Deb and I have been doing a lot of work. I know we've been off a lot. I've been buried in union work. Deb's been dealing with some personal stuff, and we're going to get these through. But Deb, some of the things that
We're,
we
we're not we're not we're not talking politics anymore. This isn't what's going on here.
right.
This isn't what's going on here. This
You're
isn't
pulling people off
politics.
the street. You're pulling people off the street. You're silencing journalists. You're silencing people in colleges and universities. You're silencing scientists.
You're buying the
And
media.
you're buying the media out. By the way, um, let's see. The First and Second Amendment are trashed unless it involves him and his loyalists. And he basically ignores um, federal law, and we're going to get to it in a minute, international law as well. Okay. So the Venezuela's acting leader says she's had enough of the U.S.'s orders. It took a little too long, but so internationally, let's see, what does he try to do? He tried to basically take over Venezuela. He tried to take over
Greenland.
Greenland. He has bullied other countries through tariffs.
He's
He
bullied
has
Canada into becoming the 51st state.
he has murdered fishermen in international waters. I know I'm missing some things,
Yeah, well,
you know. Into the Void, How Trump Killed International Law. Basically, you could read this, um, but he just killed international law by ignoring it.
yeah, there's a great article that we need to put in here, right?
Yeah,
And the headline basically says that the founding fathers envisioned um, a leader like Donald Trump. What they did not envision was a Congress and a Supreme Court that would be complicit. That's
right,
that's a very
right,
good point.
right,
That's a
right,
very good point.
right. Which is why we need to get involved now. You know, we are the fourth, well, we're the fifth estate,
And by the
and
way,
we're the fourth estate too.
I'd have to add the voters in there too.
Right. The
You
voters are
know,
the fifth estate, in
you
my
know,
opinion.
whoever you are that voted for Donald Trump, if you're feeling the pain now, you are responsible for this. You can't gloss over this shit. And the rest of you who just didn't bother to, you gave the middle finger to the democratic process when you decided to stay home and not vote. This is you. This is who you are. You didn't
Remember
care about
yeah,
democracy then, but you care now.
the leopards eating people's faces. This is where it, you know, again, you were like, well, uh, Dave, you didn't really get into examples. I told you I really wasn't going to, but Trump's quote unquote board of peace, he puts civil rights abusers in charge of this board. Uh,
It's his idea of peace.
so
March
no
28th,
king.
folks.
All right.
March 28th. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now. We cannot turn back. How many were there the last one? 7
Uh,
million, 9 million?
something like that.
We need
They're
more.
shooting for like 12 to 14, I
Let's
think.
go. I mean, things are so much worse since then. So much
I
worse.
I understand nobody wants to listen to professors, but they say, you know, Trump's assault on international law is dangerous. And this has historical preference about precedent. Yes, Hitler. Oh, he's not Hitler, he's
He is
Francisco
Hitler.
Franco,
Yeah, he is.
whatever. He's Hitler,
I don't give a
he's
shit.
Hitler, he's Mussolini,
He's all of them.
he's all of them.
Let's stop playing that game. Okay? Let's
Right,
stop playing the semantics game. It's not
right,
any fun here anymore.
right.
Okay?
He is he is the ultimate decider in his mind. Okay. And anyone who agrees with him, he will allow to run after him, right? And please tell me that Trump is better than Biden. Please,
I don't want,
enough
and I don't want to hear any more bullshit. You and I both know that none of this would be happening
under Kamala,
under Harris. None of this.
right?
This is so far afield, it's not even funny.
So
It,
Deb, of the things that we didn't mention, let's see, the persecution of the LGBTQ community, demonizing transgender people, demonizing women, by the way, and taking away their rights to personal
It
sovereignty.
didn't seem to, the women's thing didn't seem to resonate with 53% of the white women who voted in America in November of 2024. That whole thing didn't seem to resonate because maybe they couldn't bring themselves to vote for a black woman. I don't know what it was, but
Right,
you know, I don't understand how many times, you know, I mean, right now, Roe seems small, but it
right.
isn't. All right.
No, it isn't.
It's only small when you have people being shot to death in the fucking streets of America and by people who are actually not ICE agents. We should call them members of the militia. That's why they have masks
Right,
on.
right.
They have masks on for a reason. Okay.
One thing,
Under Joe Biden, we had border control. They didn't wear masks. They have masks on because they're going into American cities and committing crimes. They're committing murder. Okay. Well,
one of the things that I kind of glossed over, transparency is the ultimate antiseptic, which is why he's trying to silence the press. All of the Epstein files are being redacted, not only to protect him, but to protect his billionaire buddies and all of that. Frankly, I don't care who it is. If they're guilty, get them out there. And by the way, not all people in the Epstein files are necessarily guilty of a crime. Maybe they were guilty of falling prey to Epstein because of their own ego. I think that's probably what happened with Bill Gates. But let's say another. Oh, by the way, Prince Andrew. Oh my God,
oh, but by
his
the
stuff.
way, this is where I draw the line. If you were a friend of Jeffrey and
Right,
you knew what he was doing and you chose to turn the other cheek or turn your eyes away from
right.
that, I'm sorry. I mean,
Very
you might as well have been
right.
trafficking young girls, as far as I'm concerned.
And by the way, trafficking young girls and trafficking adult women,
Doesn't matter.
trafficking young girls. Okay, maybe it's worse, but uh, I am probably going to be part of the petition to remove Steve Tisch as an owner of the New York Giants, and some fans may just abandon the team altogether eventually. Um, and there is another NFL owner, I believe either a co-owner or the owner of the Washington Commanders. It doesn't matter. These people have to be held to account. Okay. Oh, well, they were adult women. The emails for Steve Tisch that happened in 2013, everyone knew who Jeffrey Epstein was. If this would have happened prior to 2008, okay, maybe. But these emails, real quick, Steve Tisch basically asked, are these prostitutes? He knew who Epstein was. Okay, stop with the semantic nonsense. Howard Lutnick and all these guys. Stop. Okay, stop it. They need to be held to account. So that's part of it. The other thing is, yes, we need to get the country back. Yes. I am in a specific the reason why Deb and I are shooting so late is because I am in a local movement to create more transparency in my county government because people are saying that the reason that Long Island loses constantly in the Democratic Party is because the Democratic Party is not being honest. The Democratic Party on Long Island has people like Tom Suozzi, has those guys, has people who are in the Democratic Party and the Conservative Party at the same time, which disillusions the hell out of Democrats on Long Island and makes it that much more difficult. So there are smaller parts of this, but the head of the snake has been and will be Donald Trump. Then you have the Stephen Millers of the world and all those douchebags. Okay, Trump has to go. which is why we have no kings. Yes, I have the information there. Okay. We have to continue to be on the street. Part of the reason why Trump is ramping this up, and we talked about this before, that the next stage after he tries to discourage people from going, demonize people and all that, then you ramp up the violence. At least two people have been directly killed on the street for protesting. And there are, people are legitimately saying, I don't know if I can go out there because I'm afraid. I don't know if I
you'd
can.
be a lot more afraid if this continues. I'm
Correct.
going to just tell you right now,
The rapid
you
response
you're not
people,
safe.
God bless them. I honestly, I don't really have much time to be on the street in that way, but God bless the ICE rapid response people. By the way, including Renee Good, who was a rapid response person on Long Island. Or I'm sorry, in Minnesota. I have
Right.
Long Island on the brain. In Minnesota. But there are rapid response people, and I'm not going to name their names right now, but there are well, actually, Ahmad Perez from from ISO Forward. He's a big name. There's a couple others. God
Listen to
bless
me.
them.
Let me just tell
We
you
have to,
something.
yeah,
Let me just tell you something. We need to be on the streets on March 28th. And in the meantime, we need to be calling senators and congressmen every fucking day and driving them nuts. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't want to hear that you're afraid. You're too afraid to go out there. I have a group of older women who do postcards with me, all
yes.
right, who are out every day with this ICE action protesting, and they're not afraid, okay? And
Do
nothing's
what
happening
you
to them,
can.
okay? You need to do this, people. There's only one way out of this mess, and it's the American people that are going to have to do it because it's clear that the GOP isn't going to buck Donald Trump, and it's clear that the Supreme Court isn't going to. So if we have any hope of doing this, it's on us. It is time now. All right? We do it now. We're 10 months away from the midterms. I'm sorry. It's straight Democrat up and down the ballot, period. End of story. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know how much
By
more
the
clear
way,
it can be.
if you have a problem with one of the Democrats that are running in a primary, don't vote for them. But whoever gets through the primary, we've been through this over and over and over and over again. Whoever gets it, I understand people are pissed off at Laura Gillen. I get it. I get people are pissed off at Seth Moulton, at Tom Suozzi,
They all
even
have
at
to lose
Fetterman.
their jobs as soon as we are safely out of this, okay?
Right,
But whatever it is, Republic, they can't lose their jobs to Republicans, okay?
right.
That's the bottom fucking line, okay?
And
And by the way, Fetterman's
yeah,
a non-factor right now. We're stuck with him
right,
till 2028 anyway,
right.
okay? All right? Think about it. If we don't win the midterms, we could have Fetterman for fucking ever, all right?
Now we're talking about the GOP is trying to like finagle census information
Yeah, it's not going to work.
in 2030. It's not going to work, but we have the message. It's not just getting out on the street. It's getting out on the street. It is door knocking for candidates and all of that. Petitions for uh, local committees, like with the Suffolk County Democrat. By the way, I didn't even know this. A little addendum. The Suffolk County Committee now, Democratic Committee on Long Island, is now called Team Schaefer. He's not going to be in forever. It kind of mirrors a local uh, version of Trump. No, that's not how this works. It is not centralized to one person. That scares the hell out of me too. But I digress. So you're door knocking, you're talking to people if you can. Don't, no time for debate. Bullshit. I'm not debating with anybody. Once they start getting into debates, I'm like, no, I'm good. Okay, but you inform people. You inform people about how your local elections work, how certain things work, whether it's different parts of the country have different ways that elections run. Sometimes It's different stuff. So be more civically aware and get involved. Get involved in the neighborhood. We've talked about this a lot too. You cannot be afraid. You can't.
Get
I mean,
involved
you
with
can be afraid, but you
Indivisible.
still have to get out there.
Get involved with Indivisible. Get involved with the 50501 movement. By the way, I'm
Move
signed up
on.
this week
Yeah.
to be on a call for no kings. And,
Right.
and, and I'm going to be on it. And everybody needs to be on it. Okay. Everybody needs to get a clue. Okay.
And also,
Your rights as it come as it is. This is the call is to know your rights when it comes to documenting what ICE is doing. This is important. Okay.
and not only that, but what happens when ICE knocks on your door? What happens when you are confronted? How to self-document, what to do, what not to do, how to protect yourself, go in groups, all that stuff. Okay, and and I know we're doing it the right way. But I don't care if I'm painted as whatever the hell I'm going to be painted as. I am who I am, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You know, this, we have to do this. We have
Okay.
to.
That's what we got for tonight. We'll see you again,
Well,
people.
for the next nightmare, whatever the hell that might be, I don't know what we're going to do. I might wait another week to do the Epstein stuff because I want to do a huge deep dive on it. I'm not going to like Deb and I have done this for a long time. Um, we we remember the WikiLeaks stuff. I'm going to make sure that whatever I talk about is stuff that's actually in there, no suppositions, because that's where you get tripped up.
All right.
Okay, so
All right.
thanks
We'll talk
everybody.
to you later.